From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fbx Evening News.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. Our top story, a Fairbanks man has been indicted by a federal grand jury in connection with a murder-for-hire plot.
56-year-old Guy Menino is accused of soliciting the murder of 5 people. One of the targets was reportedly a witness in a criminal case against him, and the other 4 were federal officers. Menino had previously been charged with concealing bankruptcy assets and possessing illegal weapons. A witness in that case was the one he allegedly tried to hire a hitman to kill. Now Menino is already serving a 3-year prison term in connection with a different case.
After nearly 8 months, the Court of Appeals has denied a motion meant to keep alleged statements out of court that support an alternate confession in the case of the Fairbanks 4. In a ruling obtained by the News Center this afternoon, the Court of Appeals discussed their decision. Stephanie Woodard was in the hearing yesterday for the case and has more now in this report.
Contained in the 3-page response, it's confirmed that Wallace, quote, made statements to an investigator working for his attorney, which if true would tend to exculpate 4 defendants who were previously convicted of the same crime. Yesterday, during a hearing, it came out that maybe more had come forward corroborating the same confession.
Corey Stern made statements to Detective Avery Thompson on March 13, 2014, that Marquez Pennington confessed to him and another teenager, Eric Pendergrass, who on the night of the Hartman homicide.
The state argued about a statement obtained in 2011 by a California corrections officer.
I don't believe that statement, therefore I'm going to self-suppress.
He contacted Fairbanks Police Department to let them know that Bill Holmes had confessed to him about killing John Hartman in 1997.
It's been established that what the Fairbanks District Attorney's Office and the Fairbanks Police Department did in 2011 was violative of a duty.
At the time of this statement, Eugene Vent's lawyer argued this could have changed everything for her client.
I, as Mr. Vent's counsel, was not aware of another signed statement, a confession of any type, until Mr. Oberle provided it to me in 2013. And I was shocked when I got a memorandum in 2014 that the state already had information about Holmes. They don't want to call it a confession, but he implicated himself in the murder and others were implicated, and he made these statements to law enforcement or a correctional officer.
The prosecution disagreed and questioned the actual credibility.
And say, wait a minute, this is a jailhouse statement, a jailhouse accusation. My opponents repeatedly treat this and characterize it as a confession. It is not a confession.
And I find it ironic that the state is complaining, well, this is a jailhouse confession. They relied on jailhouse snitches at length in Mr. Vent's trial to convict him of murder.
Yesterday, Superior Court Judge Paul Lyle ruled to lift the temporary stay based on the appellate court's decision on the sealed evidence. A hearing is set for Monday, and the evidence trial will be held in October. I'm Stephanie Woodard, reporting. Just after noon today, Alaska State Troopers in Soldotna received a report of a multi-vehicle collision near mile 80 of the Seward Highway. The crash reportedly involved about 7 vehicles, including a tour bus. 1 person was reported dead at the scene, and 3 others were transported by ambulance with critical injuries. Troopers said there were several others that were injured and being transported for medical treatment or evaluation. Both the LifeMed helicopter and ground ambulances were being used. AST and Girdwood Fire were at the scene, along with assistance from the Anchorage Police Department.
The State Department of Labor and Workforce Development is taking new measures to battle wage theft and human trafficking in the last frontier. The department's Wage and Hour Administration is now publishing explanatory materials in Korean, Spanish, Tagalog, and Yupik. Now, officials say the decision reflects the diversity of Alaska and focuses on key groups targeted by human traffickers and other labor law violators. English and Samoan guides already exist. Department of Labor and Workforce Development Commissioner Heidi Dragas says human trafficking and other similar crimes are hard to quantify because they're often underreported, but the Alaska Department of Labor is set on increasing awareness to fight the issue.
Well, I do think it's a bigger problem than people believe. Became concerned that so many individuals that spoke different languages as a first language didn't understand their rights on the job. We have seen an uptick in the number of calls reporting possible violations, and which is good in that our wage and hour investigators can get right to those work sites and investigate the issue.
Alrighty, when we come back, cyclists are preparing for the first annual Bike Foresight, which kicks off tomorrow and will help many with vision problems in other countries.
Also tonight, we present another installment of gardening tips with the subject of deadheading your flowers. Stay with us. We'll find out. And welcome back. World Breastfeeding Week will be observed August 1st through 7th. Tomorrow, organizations across the globe will join in a synchronized breastfeeding event to break the record. Locally, the Resource Center for Parents and Children and the Women, Infant, and Children program will be hosting the 4th annual Big Latch On to help break the record tomorrow at the RCPC office. Registration begins at 10 a.m. and then at 10:30, the Latch On begins for 1 full minute. Following the event, there will be a family day aimed at nutrition and community.
From 11 to 2, you'll be able to bring your family down. We'll have lots of kids' activities, bubbles, chalk, crafts, games, all sorts of stuff. It's all free to the public, and so if you've ever been curious about WIC or our program, it'd be a great chance to stop by and check it out.
Close to 100 bicyclists will be crowding the parking lot tomorrow morning at the Fairbanks Golf Course for a good cause. Bike Foresight is a new event organized by ophthalmologists and eye technicians in the Fairbanks area. Now, their goal is to raise funds to support cataract removal for thousands in third world countries. The procedure will enable the affected people to see the first time. Now, officials for the event are excited about the potential results.
So we have an organization, a group of people who go to multiple different countries across the world doing cataract surgery, curing blindness in the developing world. Approximate cost of overhead, the consumables that are actually used for the cataract surgery itself, costs about $25 in the developing world. It's a very different surgical procedure than done here in the U.S. The cost thus can be a fraction, a tiny fraction of what it is here.
It's time once again for our gardening tips segment. Tonight you'll learn more about what deadheading is.
Week of gardening tips. We're here again at the Georgeson Botanical Garden. This week we'll be talking about deadheading your flowers. Deadheading is an important chore to do in your garden. It's especially important with annual flowers to keep them blooming throughout the year. What deadheading does, and what it is plucking off the spent blossom. And that sends a signal to the plant that it's not time to put energy into making seed. It's still time to put energy into making those flower blooms that we all enjoy so much. Deadheading can be done with perennials as well, but it won't necessarily keep the blooms lasting longer. It will just make the appearance better and get those dying and dead blooms out of the way. As you wander through your garden, look for blooms that are starting to dry out and die and just pluck those off. Make sure to not just get the petals, but get beyond the petals to where seeds may already be starting to form. And again, that's sending that signal to the plant that it still needs to put energy into making those colorful blooms. For different types of plants, you want to deadhead in different ways. With petunias, you can just pluck right behind the base of the flower. With plants that send up their flowers on a central stalk, you can pluck it all the way back down at the base of the stalk, like with this geranium. Well, thank you for joining us for gardening tips, and come back next week where we'll have more ideas and tips to keep your yards and gardens beautiful.
Gardening tips brought to you by Fairbanks Stump Grinders and by Midnight Sun Family Medicine.
I know I didn't know what that is because I'm very bad at gardening. So
That's right.
all my flowers are always dead, so I don't have to worry about it.
All right, Joe Cook went out one of the golf courses today and has a story on a PGA-style event.
Cool. Also a feature tonight on a Gold Panners coach who made an impact on the players.
All that and more with Joe after the break. Welcome back, Interior Alaska. Joe Cook here to get your weekend started right with the Friday Sportscast. It was all about cream today. Cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money. That popular Wu-Tang Clan song was made into a reality today. The Fairbanks Golf Course, local golfers of all skill levels played for Green on the Greens in the UAF Face-Off Club Usabelli Coal Mine Stroke Play Tournament. Golfers competed for a $7,000 purse, with $1,000 going to first place winners and $2,000 going to the random team draw winner. Hole number 4 was the A-Bear hole. The blown up Nana sat right near the green.
Look at that. Made some very festive and interesting scenery out there on the golf course. The tournament supports the Nanook hockey program. It sounds like this event was a real success, not just for UAF hockey, but for the local golf community as well.
Everybody who plays golf in this town is here today vying for the stroke play tournament, so it's awesome. So everyone's kind of feeling it. It's great. It's a great event, and all the sponsors have been fantastic, and everything. It's been a great tournament so far.
You know, it's cash. It's just going to be the top golfers win it, but there's chances for lots of different levels of golfers to win, and plus it's you come out and you're supporting the hockey program and the Nanook Hockey Face-Off Club, so it's a great day, and you got a little competitiveness to it. I think everyone likes that if you're playing sports.
Former Alaska Nanook hockey player Aaron Jins wants another pro title. He re-signed with the Allen Americans of the ECHL. The Americans won the Kelly Cup this past season. Jins, a former UF defenseman, was a big part of the Americans championship run last season. Jins set a single season record for Allen defenseman with 56 points. He led all defensemen in the league with those 56 points, was named to the All-ECHL second team. Jins has tallied 90 points in 146 ECHL games. Jins joins Garrett Perry, Michael Quinn, Trevor Campbell, and Colton Beck as former Nooks who will suit up for ECHL teams this upcoming season. After Thursday's doubleheader, the Alaska Gold Panthers ended up with a couple of L's. The Peninsula Oilers sweep the Gold Panthers with a pair of wins. Game 1 was a 1-3 result. Brent Diaz, he went 2 for 2, hit his first home run of the summer, and added 3 ribbies for the Oilers in the win. In Game 2, Alaska fell 1-2. Andrew Carrillo, an all-star for the Panthers, also hit his first home run of the summer. In the 5th inning, the Oilers win the series 3-1. The Gold Panthers' final series of the summer starts tonight against the Anchorage Bucks in Anchorage. Baseball is a game of failure. No one knows that better than one person who was on the Gold Panthers coaching staff this summer. Here's more on former major leaguer Billy Sample and what he brought to the Gold Panthers.
He's a broadcaster, writer, filmmaker, and you can add Gold Panthers hitting coach and first base coach to the list. Billy Sample out of Roanoke, Virginia, was drafted by the Texas Rangers in 1978 and enjoyed a 9-year MLB career playing for the Rangers, Yankees, and Braves. Sample provided knowledge that was more in between the ears than in between the lines for the Panthers.
I'm trying to give them a sense of experience in certain areas, especially on the field, but sometimes even off the field, but how to hit and pitch and play in certain situations so that once they get to that next level, they won't have to take that much time learning it.
Well, Billy, he's a character. He brought a lot of stories to the ballpark and taught a lot of good things, more about the mental approach of the game, and Billy brought some good mental notes and brought the mental game.
First-year head coach Jeff Stevens saw his players take advantage of having a former pro on the staff as they constantly sought advice on the game. Sample also made an impact on Stevens.
As a manager, just as a coach, for that matter, it can get stressful out here, definitely in a game of failure like baseball, but it was always nice to have him just kind of right there with some anecdotes for jokes and all that kind of stuff, keeping me level-headed, reminding me that, hey, it's just a baseball game.
This is the first time I've actually gotten on the field and wondered, well, could I do this at some other level? And I'm still debating that, but it's been fun, and a lot of it's just been the acceptance of the people around here. They've treated me great. I think I'm in a situation where I can impart some of my knowledge, and it's been great imparting it here in Fairbanks.
The summer hasn't been the best for the Gold Panthers, but they did get a sample of the big leagues. Joe Cook reporting.
And the month of August starts this weekend, and there are some interesting sports events on deck. Tomorrow morning is the Sports Car Club of America, and our local Stanley Nissan will be hosting an Arctic Alaska Region Autocross Solo. This is the first autocross event in Fairbanks in 30 years. Registration is at 8 a.m. at the Carlson Center. The timed solo races are on a marked course, and they are Saturday and Sunday. The annual Run from the Cops is Saturday morning at 11 a.m. The 5K Run Walk starts at the Fairbanks Police Department. It's $25 to sign up and $20 for those 17 and under. And also on Saturday at 11 a.m. is the 22nd Chena Hot Springs Run and Soak. This 8.5-mile run starts at the Angel Rocks Trailhead. It's free, and there will be a potluck barbecue after the race. Sounds good. But that's it for sports tonight. Remember to watch tomorrow for the only Saturday Sportscast in the interior with Mike Fussell. Mike Schultz is up next with weather, and we'll catch you next time.
Hey everyone, welcome back into a Friday night edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. Mike Schultz with you once again. We trade out the clouds and the rain for smoke, unfortunately. Yeah, the smoke's back in the air, and it looks like it's going to be with us throughout the weekend. Not dense, but just enough to put the smell in the air. And make things not that comfortable as we were hoping for, but still we're looking at the rain out of the picture and more sunshine. We'll tell you about that in just a little bit. Our photograph night, a very beautiful summer day shot. This one taken by Tom Berklet. Again, the fireweed in the foreground, beautiful clouds in the background. And as always, if you have a photograph you want to share with the audience, send it to photos@ktvf11.com. We'll share it with the audience. Here's your numbers right now. Today's high 65, the low last night 52, currently 64 degrees with mostly hazy conditions. Record high 87, 1994, 35 for the record low in 1929. Your sunrise and sunset, 18 hours and 18 minutes of daylight. That's a loss of almost 7 minutes from yesterday. On the satellite and radar, not nearly as active as it has been for the last few days. The showers are mainly to the south of the Fairbanks area. In fact, zooming in a little closer on the radar, you can see them moving across the Alaska Range and down south of us. So we're not looking at anything moving in this direction right now, but the winds coming out of the west are what's helping to bring the smoke in here. Unfortunately, that's going to continue, it looks like. What's going on across the rest of the state? Well, the rains continue across southeast Alaska. More rain, but temperatures warming back up again. Ketchikan at 62 degrees. Nice day in Anchorage. 70 degrees there. A few scattered showers around the Anchorage Bowl. Kodiak at 68. Cloudy skies at Cold Bay, 58. Up and down the west coast, temperatures ranging from Bethel at 65 to 51 at Nome. And north of the Brooks Range, 48 in Barrow. That's not too bad for this time of year. Fort Yukon, 70 degrees. Lower 48 weather. Is the hot weather continuing? Well, yes, it is. 94 degrees in Seattle, 95 at Salt Lake City. Again, 100-degree temperatures for Las Vegas and Phoenix. Another hot day in Denver, 91, and another hot day at Dallas, 98. Not too bad, Minneapolis, again, around the Seattle, I should say the St. Louis area, 94 degrees there. Hot temperatures over the deep south with scattered thunderstorm activity. And up and down the east coast, very warm and very humid as the heat wave continues. And when the satellite radar is showing a little bit of activity moving across the Great Lakes, a lot of energy moving across the southwest. That's the southwest monsoon. Once again, helping to usher a few thunderstorms in over Southern California, but the heat wave is expected to continue. And finally, it looks like the breezes might be changing around by the weekend, bringing some cooler weather into Southern California, but the hot temperatures will continue over the northwest part of the country. And because the jet stream, once again, is way up to the north, allowing all that hot air in to come in, and also a secondary jet bringing a lot of hot and humid conditions across the eastern half of the country. So it's just going to be really very uncomfortable this weekend across much of the lower 48. Well, back to Alaska for tomorrow. Partly cloudy skies at Barrow, showers for Nome, and mostly cloudy skies in the Fort Yukon area. Over the southeastern, or south central sections, I should say, the interior mainly. Hazy skies with smoke in Fairbanks, isolated showers at Delta, and just partly cloudy skies at Healy. Over southeast Alaska, we're looking at showers at Juneau, mostly cloudy skies for Ketchikan, so the rain will be moving out of the picture there. The southwest part of the state, partly cloudy skies at Cold Bay, mostly cloudy skies in Bethel, and sunny skies for Kodiak. And down around the Anchorage Bowl, well, looks like mostly sunny skies at Anchorage. And Homer, also partly cloudy skies at Valdez. So a nice weekend to head on down there and maybe check out the fishing, because the fishing's doing pretty good, all the areas down there. Here's your forecast for the Fairbanks area for the remainder of the night. Very hazy, some smoke obviously, otherwise cloudy skies, 52 degrees. Tomorrow's forecast, close to 70 degrees, partly cloudy with isolated showers and again smoke in the forecast. And the 5-day outlook, looking at temperatures once again warming up to the low to mid 70s all the way across the board. Overnight lows will also once again be temperatures very, very comfortable with no precipitation in the forecast there. As you see, the skies are looking pretty good. We can get rid of some of this smoke because otherwise it's going to be pretty uncomfortable for the weekend.
Well, it doesn't look too bad for the start of the next week, though. Temperatures in the mid-70s. That's nice.
Very nice, yeah.
Yeah, very good. I don't get it. We either have rain or we have smoke, and sometimes we have both. It's just been a weird summer. Right?
I guess.
I can't call it. You can deal with it. That's right. All right. That will wrap up this edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. We are glad you could join us.
Tonight on NBC Nightly News, I forgot it was my turn.
It's
there
Friday,
was a
folks.
dangerously close near miss today between a drone and a commercial airliner. That's up next with Lester Holt.
And tomorrow on the Interior's Only newscast, we'll update you on the security for this year's Tanana Valley Fair and spotlight the Bike for Sight event. Join Katie Looper and Mike Fussell at 6 and 11 on Saturday.
All right, from all of us here at the News Center, we hope you have a great weekend.
Good night.